Hi, how are you? I've been talking to myself for 10 minutes. Thank you so much, whoever put up that is so funny. Whoever put up, is it me or Kim not on yet? Thank you, Mr. B. I would have said, because it was so weird, you guys, because I was looking at my thing and I was thinking, why does it say scheduled? Why doesn't it say live? Well, it's because I'm not live. But I was so intent on remembering what I needed to tell you guys. So let me start over if you can hear me now. So anyway, okay, so I'm so sorry, you guys. Let me just explain too that I'm still fighting this cold virus, whatever it is. And so I'll blame it on that. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, starting over. All right, first, I wanted to tell my club that because of that, I was down. I was in bed Friday and Saturday, just kind of, and I was up part of the day Friday to do the work that I had to do, some readings and stuff like that. And then I went to bed early, and then Saturday I was in bed all day. But I thought that the last club readings of the month were next Friday. So I wasn't even thinking about that, but they were this past Friday. So I've moved it to next Friday. So we're all set there. So the S through Z group will be next Friday. The other thing I want to tell you is that I'm doing 3 classes over the summer. Okay. Yes, I was just talking to myself, Ms. Beach Boxer. I was just talking to myself. Just having a ball. Just having a ball. So the 3 classes are going to be 2 repeats, which I'm going to repeat the New Earth class. I'm going to repeat the empath workshop, which is 4 classes. The New Earth class is 10 weeks because it's all 10 chapters. We do a chapter a week. The empath workshop is 4 classes. New Earth is on Monday. The other one's on the empath class is on Thursday. And then I'm going to add another one that is going to be teaching people to communicate with orbs. And that is going to be fun because we're going to share footage of stuff we capture. We're going to talk about the footage. We're going to be kind of dissecting it and looking at it. And learning a bunch of techniques to capture orbs. And we'll just meet every week. And I think that one's going to be 3 or 4 weeks. I haven't quite decided. And it'll be a class and then we'll share footage. So that class will be 3 or 4 weeks. And I think that will be on Thursday because I think we'll be after the empath group. So if you are interested, I don't do like mass emails or anything like that. I don't keep email lists or anything like that. So if you want to do these or if you're interested, this is just getting interest right now. And so I'll put you on a list. And when I have the flyer, I'll send you the flyer so you can decide if you want to do it. So if you are interested in being included in getting the information, send me an email. You don't need to write me anything. You can just put in the description what classes you're interested in or what class you're interested in. If you've already taken the New Earth class and the empath workshop, either one or both, you can take it again if you want to. And each class is just going to be by donation. I like that I think it's easy for people. I think it fits in whatever budget they have. I'm good with it. It's an energy exchange, so I'm comfortable with that. It's a $25 donation suggested. So even that, it can be a little bit less if you really want to do it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't give it a second thought. It's fine. I'm not doing beginners class, Matt, but the orb class would be for beginners. I mean, it's going to start at the very beginning. So that would be for people just starting. So, and all of these are fine for beginners. All of them are. So what if you are an empath and you want to know more about it and you want to be, get classes and in the discussions and take that. And New Earth is a book, so you can read the book. All of these are really for any level. And my intention behind these classes and for this summer is to, one, give you more tools in your toolbox, right? In your spiritual toolbox that you can turn to help you. The other intention is to bring us together as a community, because I just feel like this summer is going to be weird. I think it's going to be kind of crazy. And I just feel like it's so nice to be together as a community and with like-minded people and in a safe environment where we can kind of talk and get, help and whatever, it's just that communal feel. So those are my intentions. That's what it's going to be. If you're interested in any or all of them, let me know. I'll put you on the list and you will get an email probably in the month of May sometime telling you when the classes are, and you can sign up for whatever you want. Okay. But you need to tell me, because if you tell me, if you want to do all of them and you're just on the list for one, you'll just get a flyer for that one. So you need to tell me which ones. Okay. So it's New Earth, the Orb class, and the Empath class, okay, or the workshop, okay? All right, so that's that, and I think that's it. So I'm going to start with the first question. The first question is just an email question I got, which is, who are you talking to when you are talking on, when you're talking to people? Who are you talking to on the other side? And so the answer to that is, if I'm doing this, I'm talking to my guides. I'm either using my own information that I just know because I've been doing this and stuff I've gotten from readings or stuff I've asked my guides before, or I'm asking my guides if I don't know. For something that's like the club readings and for personal readings, I'm talking to that person's guides with the help of my guides. And my guides are really there just to keep stuff moving, because they'll bring in my vocabulary that I have with them, movies and music and just things like that. And they also, they're just there to kind of keep it moving. They can give me like physical things like chills and things like that. So it's their guides with the help of my guides. If I'm talking to a third party, like if somebody says, could you look at my daughter-in-law and see, what's wrong with her or whatever, it's interesting because I feel like I'm talking to my guides and I'm kind of using my own energy, my abilities to read energy. So I'm kind of like moving out and into their energy field to read. And that's very interesting because I feel like I can get some information, but I don't have full access. And so I feel like what their guides are doing is kind of letting me know what I can look at. Because our guides are for us, and they're kind of they're protective of us. They're there for our best good. And so if I read like a public figure, I can get some information, but I can't get everything. I can feel that certain things are kind of off limits, or it becomes like less clear. And so it's like, oh, maybe I don't want to do that. I can go, somewhere, and I'll feel that kind of back off kind of thing. So, but I can usually get people's personality, their motivations, their intentions. I can get things like that are kind of overall things. But to me, it doesn't feel like an all access, like when I'm talking to an individual that has asked me to read for them. So, okay. So that's what I'm getting. Unless I'm talking to a family member, then it's the family member with the help of my guides, right? And I'm sure their guides are there too, but it kind of like shifts. My focus is shifted to the person or whoever's coming in. So I hope that's clear. I know it's a little bit confusing, and I think it's confusing for readers at first. They're not sure, and you really have to go by feel what you feel like, and the more you do it, the more you recognize, oh, this is their guide, this is their dad, it's and that's the difference. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the chat. And if you're new, I just answer spiritual questions for my own knowledge if I know the answer, or if I don't, I will hand it over to my guides and ask them to help us out. And that's basically what we do here. And if you're welcome to ask an individual question, but usually what will happen is I will make it kind of a wider scope question. I'll ask in a way that's more for everybody, because this is kind of a communal thing here. So, so a question. A few weeks ago, I was watching a documentary on how Hitler stayed in power. He blew up a government building, blamed it on a communist, and invoked martial law, which allowed him to suspend the elections and stay in power. Is that why your guide stressed that we remain calm? Could the orange man do something like on Social Security or something that's outrageous? That we all get out on the streets to protest while he sends the goons to control things and guns, have it go out of control and call for martial law. He doesn't seem to care that his numbers are going down. Okay, so I'm going to kind of broaden that out and maybe ask in a more in a kind of a more world, like a world view, or kind of a bigger, like a macro view of kind of basically what they'd like us to know. And they know what this show is supposed to be, right? So they won't go into a bunch of and they don't like to anyway. They don't really like to. They will. If we're asking the question, they will. They'll give us what we can use and what will make us understand something or whatever. But I'm going to ask them to answer this and give us more of a kind of a macro kind of scope about what we may be headed into and give us some information. So they're talking about that's interesting. So first of all, they're talking about masses and masses of people coming together. And they're saying that they're saying something to the effect of everything is going as planned. So whatever's happening right now, it's like, this is what we thought. And so they're letting us know that thousands and thousands and thousands of people are going to start coming together, waking up, coming out, supporting each other, pushing back. So there's going to be this mass of movement, right? And they're talking about they're kind of almost like anticipating that this could be a thing and using it to shut some things down. And I don't know if that means martial law or if it means just kind of what they did during Black Lives Matter, where they sent certain, you know, how they sent those guys in black to come and intimidate people, stuff like that. But I feel like there's an anticipation and a like wanting to like control things. And so okay, a couple of things. They're saying that the things that they've done are going to have unintended consequences that are going to kind of blow back on them in a way that it's unanticipated. It was unanticipated. So although they're trying to like shock and awe us, they're going to be shocked. They're going to have shock and awe. They're going to have like a surprise coming. So they're saying there's surprise on the horizon, and that it's to do with some of the things that they've already done. So it's like it's unintended. It's an unintended consequence that's going to be coming back on them. But they're saying this is that they talked about this time, this year, as being a time of truth, a time of people waking up, coming out of a slumber, and that it's because of the energies that are here, because the energy that's here now, it's almost impossible to cover things up, bury things. It's just like everything's coming out. And what they're also talking about a time of people taking their power back, all over the world, not just in the US, all over the world, people taking back their personal power, taking back power. And so, and also they just said not allowing themselves to be fooled. So they're going to be waking up in which is great news for the US, right? Because that's been the problem. But sorry, I'm just listening. I don't mean to get into the political things. I'm just listening, and they, like I said, they know what the show is about, so they know. I trust them. They're saying though the advice or the suggestion to go within and go within regularly is to keep your equilibrium, because as the truth comes out, the lies will come out. The lies will still try to be there, and so to go inside and seek the truth. Basically, when you're aligned with your spirit, you can feel and that is truth, right? That is the truth. So when it aligns with you, when you're in that alignment, you can align with the truth. So you know what's going on. And they're talking about the fact that it's going to be kind of like everything coming out, not just the things coming out people we don't like or that we think are bad, or it's like everything's coming out. And so there'll be some things that'll be like, is that true? What, so they're saying you need to go inside to get that equilibrium, and you'll know. They're very much like, you'll know if you're aligned with that is truth. And so you'll recognize it. You'll recognize, oh, that's true. Oh, that's not true. Or I don't believe that. And you'll be able to stay in alignment with the truth, and you'll be able to walk that path. And you'll also know when to act, right? Because we cannot act on everything that's happening. It's just not possible. It's you have to kind of go where you will best serve the intention you have, and your guides will help you do that. You'll recognize the organization. You'll recognize the march. It will feel like, I need to go. I need to do this. I need to give money. I need to help this person, right? Because and helping people as well will be like that. So going there regularly, just checking in. It takes a couple of minutes. Just getting silent, breathing, go to your breath, and just get aligned. And when you kind of reach that calm, peaceful, everything is okay kind of feeling, you've reached it. That's it. You're in it, right? So, okay. So I hope that answers that question. When F45 leaves office, will they revoke all those gold cards he assigned? So, I'm not going to go into a political thing. Let me see. I'm going to pose it and just see what they say. So they're talking about so many things are not, they haven't been put in place the right way, so they'll just be flipped. Like they haven't gone through Congress, they haven't passed a law, they've done it in such a half-assed way that it's going to be, they'll just be flipped right back. So I hope that answers that. Okay. Okay. Hi, Craig, Paula. Okay. I'm going to move past the political stuff. So Lady Faith says, Kim, do animals feel the shift right now? My cat is jumpy and easily scared the past 3 weeks. My body aches a lot more than usually. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, we kind of talked about how you're feeling, you can feel, I kind of like, it's a mixture. It's kind of, it's to me, it's like waves of like kind of sadness, despair, and then waves of anger. You're kind of feeling that shift. And now there's something else coming in. It does feel like it's a little more like feisty and kind of hopeful. And there's other stuff coming in, but it's all it's a lot. It is a lot. And so that is just going to, people that are sensitive are going to get things like headaches, feel even like vertigo, feeling exhausted. But also some days I feel like I've kind of got a spring in my step, like I've got some energy. So it's very, just, it's like treat the symptoms, whatever's happening, just go with it that day. Lots of water. I know water is a big thing right now. So lots of water. But animals, let's look at animals. Animals feeling the shift. Yeah, so they're saying our animal and plant life are always feeling things first. They're always feeling things first. They're just more attached and grounded to the earth in a way that's just different. They also are saying like they don't have although they aren't like evolved in the way that humans are like evolved, they don't think a lot. They're not feeling, so they're more receptive. We get lost in our thoughts, and so a lot of times we're hard to reach, and that's why quieting the mind and things like that are so important, so we can get those messages, we can get inspiration, we can get ideas, and we can get urgings and curiosities that come up. Those are, that's, but they're more reachable, just reachable in every way. And so they're saying they're far more, they feel things far more quickly when it has to do with the earth or with energy. They may not, like us, we might say, well, it's, oh gosh, I'm really tired today. Maybe it's the energy. They don't do that, but they might react to it, right? So act a little more jumpy. Like I said, some days I feel like I need to do like that. I need to do stuff. I need to do stuff. So it sounds like they are reacting to the energies that are happening right now, but they're saying they always feel stuff before us. Energy, earth, yeah, anything like that. Okay. In different ways. It sounds like they feel it in different ways, but they do feel it just more easily. Oh, right. Thank you, Gina, for bringing your question back. Gina asked this question when we did our movie club, and I said, bring it up on Sunday. That's a great question. So let's look at this. Do souls ever incarnate to cause pain or chaos? Does it happen on the micro and macro levels? Okay, thank you. So they're talking about this being a multifaceted or like a complex question. What I'm feeling, okay, because that was almost like a download. So let me parse this out. What it feels like is every soul is here to help humans evolve to a place where they are bringing in more love, more compassion, more cooperation, more creativity, right? So this and those getting stronger, and things like violence and division and those things being, so think of what I just previous said as being evolving, and the other stuff is kind of devolving, right? And they're saying that every soul that comes here is for evolution. But they're saying there's different ways of getting there. There's different ways of pushing us, right, to evolve. And so in that way, every soul is here to help evolution and in the service of love. However, they're saying that some souls can just get off track. Some souls can have challenges that defeat them. And I think when they say that, they're talking about people that maybe come in knowing they're going to have to overcome an anger problem, but it leads to a murder, right? It's like they get off track. The idea was to come here and have an anger problem and overcome it, but this went off track. And they're saying there's always a remedy. They're never just like they're off track and now everybody's devolving. It's not like that. We always are still evolving, because there has been I want to say millions, but then I'm like, how, that blows my mind. How is that possible? But I want to say millions of possibilities that we kind of go through before we even come here. We know how off the rails things could get and how on the rails things could get. And they're saying that the tendency for off the rails is a young soul thing. And we had Marie Manucherry on here talking about how we have a lot of young souls and a lot of old souls. And so, but what they're saying is that because there's always this kind of striving for balance within the universe, within families, within people, there's always this kind of striving for movement and balance so let's take just one case, right? That person, I was supposed to come here to overcome anger, and it's something I haven't been able to do. And I'm a young soul, and I come here and I succumb to it again, and I end up killing somebody. Well, that killing somebody may lead this person to go to jail, and in prison, they finally get him some help with his anger problem, and he ends up teaching classes in prison and and doing a great job and overcoming his anger problem, right? Because even when things have gone off the rails, there are still opportunities to do what we came here to do. And then they're saying too, in the case of like, because if somebody, bringing up Hitler or bringing up somebody who's like does mass damage, right? They're saying then there's always this almost like a mass correction. So you'll have things like, the United Nations that help to keep peace for tons and tons of years, and nothing here is. They're saying if you pulled back and you looked at it, it would look like the further and further you got back, the more sense it would make, and the more perfect it would seem. The closer you get, it's almost like it's the more like the more sort of chaotic it seems. And they're showing me a picture of like not a quilt, but like a woven blanket, because it's all these different threads. And so they're saying, you pull back and you see the blanket. Oh, it's a blanket. Oh, but if you went down and you looked at like closer to the pattern, you'd see all the threads and kind of interwoven and how they're kind of going over each other, and so it would seem more chaotic. And so they're saying there is this place of like ordered chaos in a way. But as you pull back, you can see the big picture. There's always higher order. That's what they're trying to say. There's always higher order. And we've talked about higher order, right? So, and that's why they're always like, everything's okay. Everything's okay. Everything ultimately is okay. But in the thick of it, in the mix of it, you watch the History Channel and you're like, it's just chaos. What's going on? War is terrible. But, and then they've talked about us before, right? Going into the simple, right? The simple little things that keep us kind of on on the road that we want to be on. They always say, go big, or go small when you get lost in the fray of everything, because that's just how it is. And so you need to go small, down to finding your center, doing your stuff in your home, taking each task as it comes, that's that slow pace, kind of small steps, act of kindness, doing what you can, making sure you're okay, making sure, those kinds of things, right? Feeding your pets, loving your pets, or you go big, and it really makes sense. But in the middle ground of 3D, it's always going to look like chaos. It's always going to look crazy and kind of like, what is going on? And it's just because there is this kind of mistakes and corrections always going on. Mistakes and corrections. And sometimes the corrections take a really long time or another generation. And sometimes it, is really quick. But they're right. That was a complicated answer, but that's I hope that I got that right, and I hope that makes sense. I'll have to go back and listen to it because I don't even know what I said. So, but yeah, so I hope that makes sense. Thank you for that question, Gina. You just gave me the dizzies. Okay. They were in it. I mean, they were really trying to they want to answer these questions. You are curious, right? And they want to help that because they want us all to keep moving on this path. They don't want any of us to turn back. They want us to keep moving forward. And that's why I always say, it's wonderful to hear other people's spiritual experiences, and they're meant to be shared, right? For that reason. But for you to know yourself, to know, not just believe, but to know, ask for your own experiences, and then trust that they'll come in the right time. But and work towards them, do the work. When I wanted to have an out-of-body experience, I did the work. I worked at it for months and months and months, and read about it and did this stuff and did it every day and for twice a day. And then, so put in the work, and they will give it to you. They will hand it to you. They want to make sure that whatever they assist in doesn't turn you back. Whoops. Whatever they assist you in, they want to make sure it doesn't back you up. So be sure to trust them, but also trust that they know that your heart wants a spiritual experience, that your heart wants something to give you more, and they will give it to you. They just want to be sure that you are ready. And so trust them to know that. I thought I was ready, and I feel like I was able to integrate it, but man, was I not expecting. But I'm so glad it didn't happen earlier, even though I was like, please. It happened when it was supposed to happen. So trust that, but keep working at it and ask for what you need. Know what it is. I really want to see a spirit with my own eyes. I really want to hear, a spirit with my own ears. I really, really want a message from Jesus. I really, really want a message from, Archangel Michael that's personal to me, that's unmistakable, right? Ask for these things and then work for them. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. So trust, once you've asked, once you know what you want and you've asked and you're working towards it, trust them. They know. Okay. But I always encourage that, because that's what's important. It's not it's nice. And it's affirming to hear other people's experiences, but you need your own. You need your own experiences to know. Okay, Leslie. Marie Manucheri talks frequently about loving ourselves and feeling self-compassion. What role does this play in our spiritual development? Okay, I'm going to pose that to the guides because I feel like I need their help with that. What role does it play in our spiritual development? Okay. So they're saying that the universes, they said universes are built on, I just got a dizzy spell with that. Universes are built on unconditional love. And that as spirits, that is our basis. That's what we are, basically. It's what we are. We are embodiments of unconditional love. The human experience is different. The goal, I want me to say a word and I don't know what it is. I'll just say ultimate. The ultimate goal is to bring and fully live unconditional love on the planet, on the earth plane, right? And that cannot be achieved without including the self. The self has to be part of that unconditional love. And they're talking about that being selfish is not loving yourself. That's it's different. They're saying unconditional love means love without condition, a unlimited, complete acceptance. So another another, I was just going to say another way, but they're saying, no, that's it. So I'll tell you what I was going to say. Because I was going to say another, way to show unconditional love is being your authentic self. But then they interjected, no, that's a ingredient. That's an ingredient for unconditional love, but that in itself is not unconditional love. Loving oneself is, or unconditionally loving oneself is loving yourself despite mistakes, missteps, despite flaws, despite and fully embracing your body and your mind, and fully accepting and being accepting and still cherishing even your limitations, things that you're not yet able to do, or that you can't do, instead of saying, oh, why can't I do that, or I'm so dumb because I can't do that. All of that is judgment, right? So and so this is the goal. It's the goal for some people, it comes more naturally to do this with other people. Like for empaths, it's so easy to love people unconditionally, or love animals unconditionally, or love whatever. But it's very hard to turn it back on ourselves, because they're saying even unconditional love is also allowing others to help you, to knowing, and they're saying that's part of like accepting and still cherishing yourself, even though you have limitations, letting other people help you. That's part of love as well, like self-love as well. So that's why it's so important. We cannot bring unconditional love to the planet Earth completely until we love ourselves, until we include ourselves in that loving. I hope that makes sense. Okay. What a great question, Leslie. Thank you. Okay. Sue says, how can we find out how many spirit guides we have and who they are? I don't know if you're going to like this answer, Sue. Because they're kind of like, well, the first, and you have to understand, my guides do have a sense of humor, and I recognize this, but they first started by saying, what does it matter? Well, why do you care? But they're also saying that but to answer your question, they're also saying, like, it can be, it's always changing. It's always changing. So you may ask one day, how many spirit guides do I have? And it could be 5. And you might ask another day when maybe you're in hospice and you say, how many spirit guides I say? And they say 20, right? It changes. So they're saying it rotates, and it's to me, it almost feels like with every question, with every circumstance, with every, with every situation, it's kind of like it shifts and changes, and depending on the person too. Depending on what they're like, if they have, say they come with a, severe disabilities or something, they might have a lot of guides and different kinds of guides, and really, really actively and moving and shifting and stuff like that. But somebody else might not. They might have, 3 guides most of the time and shift, so it's very, very individual. But and then who they are. So okay, Well, they're saying, you know this on some level. On some level, you know this. And so it is the matter of kind of going in and trusting what you get. Something that happened in my near my near death, my out of body experience, I met one of my guides, and she was just like a lady. But I knew she was one of my guides, and what was interesting was that she had a similar personality to two women who are very similar to each other, and like my favorite people. So, you know, a couple of my favorite people in this world. So what you're attracted to, the type of people you're attracted to that you really love with all your heart that are here, probably have similar characteristics or something similar to your guides. And that's why you do resonate with them. And it's the same thing with your guides. So they're saying your guides are who you think they would be. Your guides are kind of because you know what you like and you know what you don't like. If you have, you know, if you're in this lifetime and you really, really don't like, you know, loud, kind of abrasive, kind of, you know, like dominating personalities, you probably don't have those kind of guides. But somebody else who really appreciates that and likes that in people, they might have those kind of guides, right? They're going to be types of people that resonate with you. But they're saying, you know, go within, ask these questions, and then trust what you get. Trust what you feel, too. Yeah, but they're saying the number is tricky. The number is tricky. But who they are, you trust what you feel. So often I'll tell people that when their guides are here, and I more get a feel for the group. That's kind of how they come in for me. Sometimes I can single out certain ones because they'll say, I have a guy named blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, you know, somebody will come forward. But a lot of times they feel like a group and they have a feel to them. I can't explain it better than that, except that, you know, sometimes they feel really, I had one group that was really like theatrical. They felt like they were almost like an old, like Shakespearean troupe of actors or something. You know, they have very specific feels to them. So Sue, if you're going into meditation, you might get a feel for like just a certain feel that you're getting, or pictures in your mind that you're getting, and just go with it, because ultimately they're right. It doesn't really matter. It's our curiosity. We just want to know, you know, how many guys we have, what do they look like, what do they, you know, why are they with me, what do they, you know? And so but they're saying, you know, on some level, you know. And that experience, the out-of-body experience, gave me a sort of a hint as to, oh, people that resonate with us. That is we're resonating energy. And that's exactly how it is there. So the types of people, or the types of things that you're very drawn to, right? Your energy's drawn to them, or you love their energy. Even like famous people, performers and stuff, that people that you're drawn to their energy, your guides are probably in that circle, or that type, right? And so maybe start there, but also try feeling it. You know, feeling, getting a feel for the group, or feel for the guide that you've asked to come forward. You can just ask for one to come forward and be with you. One of my favorite things to do is to lay down and ask my guides just to come in and just be with me. And it's very interesting, because you do feel, it's almost like a calm, but you also feel energy. You also kind of feel like almost like a vibration or like a buzzing kind of that comes in, and you kind of feel it in your body, and it feels kind of, because I feel like what it's like within your energy field, and so it just feels like you're kind of, it's almost like you're kind of subtly vibrating. It's a very interesting, but try it. It's a really good experiment. But I hope it helps. And I know what they're saying. It's very individual, and it's very, and it's very personal, right? But I hope that helps. Okay, I was late. I know we're going a little bit over, but I was late. I'm so sorry. I feel so dumb. I was like, I can't believe I did that. I was just like talking to myself for ages. Oh, so funny. Lordy, lordy, lordy. There's Terry holding your space. Michelle, Mike Bell, and Gina. Hello, everybody. Mary Hernandez Walker. Craig's here. Everyone's like, oh, hi, you're talking to yourself. Thank you, Paula R. I'm sorry, I've been sick too. You can hear it in my voice, right? And I just want to get well. I think it's because I keep doing stuff, and I'm not just laying down and resting. When I get off here, I'm gonna go and rest and be more mindful of that. But man, yeah, it's been quite the whatever it is, virus, cold. Okay, let me see. I'm just trying to get to the last question. Yeah, just email me, Mountain Sunshine, if you're interested. Yeah. Just send me an email. Intuitiview@gmail.com, and let me know which classes you're interested in. And I will, and if you're coming late, if you go back to the beginning, I talk about the classes that I could someone post a proper email? It's intuitiview@gmail.com. It's in my, I think it's in the description. To send an email. And you can always go to intuitiview.com, and it will have a thing where you can contact us. It'll just come to my email. So Jacqueline asked, much of your audience, fellow light workers, we have skills to clear energy and understand consciousness shift. Most people are not light workers with our training. How will they awaken? So Jacqueline, this is what we talk about in the newer class, actually. And awakening is just realizing, oh, I'm a spirit having a human experience. And some people are sort of, trapped in a lot of dogma, right? They might be in a religion, but it's different, and it's kind of, and it's, you can have, not in every church, obviously, but like in like some churches, you can have people that are corrupt and things like that. So they're kind of, consider themselves religious, but kind of trapped in this kind of a weird way, almost like trapped in dogma in a way. And so often people awaken through suffering. That's how it happens. And it's usually, Eckhart Tolle talks about, oh, you can drink. It's Sunday, you can drink your mimosa. He talks about people, a lot of soldiers waking up on the battlefield, right? Here there's violence and death all around them, and they have an awakening because it's the chaos, it's the absurdity of it all. And it's almost like they all of a sudden just see like, oh, this is, you know, I'm so much, we're more than this. This is what's happening. And it's a type of waking up and seeing like, this isn't the real world in a way. This isn't who I really am. That's that awakening. This isn't who we are, you know? What are we doing? But they can wake up and there's going to be a lot of suffering and chaos, and that, and regular people, right? You have a death in the family, it can wake you up. I always say, you know, it seems like when someone you're very, very close to passes away, they leave a door open. My husband was staunchly an atheist when we met. Staunchly. And he is not that anymore. And it was the death of his mom. She gave him messages. She gave him one message that was she knows him, right? She knew that he would doubt anything else unless it was a physical thing that he could see and feel and touch. And that's what she brought. So people will awaken through their own personal suffering or tragedy, and they'll awake from the bigger, you know, kind of chaotic things that are going to happen. But everybody will have opportunities, not just one. They'll have opportunities to awaken. And we even talked about how light workers will, for them to be, as these openings come in, for people to be able to be present enough to notice them and to move into that space to help them awaken, right? And I gave the example of somebody, you know, maybe that was a staunch, you know, MAGA supporter or something, and they see all the chaos going on, and they say something like, oh, I just want to turn it all off, and I, you know, don't know what to do. And that could be an opening to say, oh, I have this great, you know, meditation, and it's like guided meditation, but it's really relaxing. So these little openings, not as like proselytizing, but just giving them some tools to be able to go deeper and find that peace, right? Because basically when the difference between being asleep and awake is you're lost in the 3D. You think this is all there is. And when you wake up to, oh, I know there's more than this. This isn't it. There's something that happens, and everybody's going to have many opportunities to wake up. Yeah, and as Eckhart Tolle says, again, it's our first purpose. That's the reason that everybody's first purpose is to awaken. Everybody. So if you've woken up, which if you're watching this, I'm sure you have, to varying degrees. But if you've awakened, you've fulfilled half your purpose for being here. That's what we're all trying to do. And as things, you know, as things that we've counted on and things that we thought were stable, right? Things that we thought were a sure thing, as they crumble or as they change or as they aren't what they seem, you know, it rocks people in a way that causes existential crisis or the dark night of the soul, where you start questioning and you start looking and you start asking and that is the beginning of awakening as well. And there's going to be a lot of that. And so, and our job as light workers is to help, right? Help and just help, help to, when you see those openings or you see that possibility, it's to move in and help and be that light, because they'll be, people will be freaking out or upset, and they'll see people that are calm and are the calm in the storm. They'll gravitate to those people. I had that one vision of the kind of the MAGA people kind of fighting. There's a person over here that's just meditating. And it was like fighting, and then they would rest, and then fighting, and then rest. And every time they would rest, one more person would go over and sit with the person who was. So it's almost like they're gonna exhaust themselves. And not just MAGA. I mean, it's gonna be lots and lots of different countries and different people, but it's gonna be a lot. And they're going to be searching for, how do I escape this suffering? How do I escape this tumult? And we know the answer is within. It's not out here. And people that are lost in the 3D are always looking out here and trying to grasp onto stuff out here. And nothing's permanent. It's all, it's all impermanence. That's what it is, right? Yeah. So I hope that helps. And so our job is to help. Is when they have that first awakening or that first glimpse, or they want to have that first glimpse, we're there to help. We're there to jump in and assist. Right. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for waiting for me for 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. But now I know what it looks like when it hasn't come on, it hasn't like gone live. So now I know. I'll remember that. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great Sunday. If you're interested in any of those classes, let me know. They'll be over the summer, so you've got plenty of time. And like I said, you don't do anything yet. You're just letting me know, and then I'll put you on the list. And in May I'll send you information, and you'll get that information. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a good one. See you later. I'll see you at New Earth Group tomorrow, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.